It's one thing to have a great product, but it's even better when the product has a beautiful story behind it. He left his two beautiful brothers, his beautiful sister, his beautiful mother and father, his best friends to come to America with not one thing on his mind. If you were to open up a dictionary, he is the definition of what the American success story is. And for me, that's what Casa Mozzarella is. Casa Mozzarella is a melting pot of people that come to this country, sometimes with a dream and sometimes with just something that they're not sure, but they're looking to find it there. My nonno told my father, "You're a piece of shit. You're a Sicilian trash. I can't believe my daughter chose you." Know what he did? If you ever ate, I'll kill you.
This is not gonna get aired.
And I'm Sicilian.
This is not gonna get aired, I promise.
No, you probably lose followers.
Carlo Carciotto, welcome to On the Rocks podcast, the king of mozzarella. Well, co-king of mozzarella.
John, thank you for having me, brother.
Tell me the whole lore of Casa del Mozzarella. You and your dad, infamously known for making some of the best cheese, I want to say, in the world.
So, Casa della Mozzarella was created in 1993. So I believe that's 31 years, if my math is right.
Something like that.
Okay. So my father came to this country in 1989. My father grew up in Sicily, in a beautiful city of Catania. He was engaged. He was with someone for 7 years. He was engaged for 3 months, I believe, give or take. My father was a professional soccer player. He played for Giade at the time, which was in Serie C, which is like the minors. He had gotten a big phone call to play up north in Italy for a team called Genoa, which is now in Serie A. He was 17 at the time, and he needed my nonno's signature. My nonno said, "No, that's not a job." May my nonno rest in peace if he only knew that soccer is a job of multi-millions. So my dad wound up not going, and then the next month or so, he wound up breaking his leg.
Oh.
So his soccer career came to an end. He was phenomenal. Everyone that I talked to said that for sure he would have played professional soccer. At that time was Roberto Baggio, Maradona. Doesn't mean my dad was going to be at their level, but he was going to play along against them or them. That was the era he was playing in.
Right.
So fast forward, my dad, he went to the military. It was mandatory at that time in Italy. He went to the military. He served in Rome. He served in Sicily. He had a great time. He fixed the tanks. He was a mechanic. What they tried to teach him to do that, they gave everybody a position. I guess they felt, let's not put this guy in the battlefield and get him killed. So my mother was very good friends with my dad's family, but my mother never saw my father. My mother went to Italy almost every other summer, every 2 summers. My mother's Sicilian and Napolitan. Never met my father. I knew my father's brothers, but my father was either playing soccer or he was in the military. So one year my mother meets my father and they go out. My father fell in love, called his fiance the next day, said, "Amore, it's done."
Wow.
Canceled his engagement. Dated my mother. Moved to America for 3 months to see if he liked it. He was very thrown off by it. He was like lost. Obviously didn't know any language, not a word. I don't know what his fiance. I've never met his fiance. All these years I always make a joke like I wish I could just see what she looks like. It's probably just better because probably might want to kill me too, and everybody is.
Right.
So my father married my mother in Sicily 3 months later in Giardini Naxos, which is by Taormina in Messina. And my mother before said, "If you want to marry me, you have to move to New York." So my father said, I don't know. I mean, Jesus, it's not like he just lives in Italy, like in Rome or Milan. He lives in Sicily. Like at the time, and still even at the time, the South is looked at as the Southerners in Italy look like Sicily, Calabria, Bari, Puglia, as like lower class. It's
Really?
still like that. It's kind of like the way us in America, we look at Texas and North Carolina.
Midwest almost,
the Midwest. Yeah. It's not that we think, we just like, we think of the cowboy and the hats and it's beyond that. Like Dallas is beautiful, like, right? But we're just so accustomed as New Yorkers At least me as a New Yorker, like that's how we were raised. Like, how do you know? And the same way in Sicily, in Italy, it's like Sicilians mafia, trash,
Right.
and that's that. So,
You almost think the Midwest is like behind in generations.
Absolutely.
They forgot to evolve like we did. Yeah. They don't have the same shit that we do. They don't have running water over there.
Perfectly said, Joe. Yeah. So my father went to my nonno, which is my father's father, and he said, Dad, what do I do? So my nonno at the time in Italy was a big deal. And it still is actually, fun fact, Argentina has the most Italians in the world. So it's, out of all the Italians that immigrated, it's it's Argentina, Brazil, and the United States.
Really?
Crazy. I didn't know that. So Argentina has right now currently.
I wonder why.
Argentina is very Italian. The language is almost very close, and
okay.
it's almost same cultural. So my nonno tried to go to Argentina to build a company. Mm-hmm. So my nonno and my nonna, they worked for the Prince of Sicily. Mm. My father grew up in the prince's house. It's a whole another wild story, like how my father it's just crazy, like how everything evolved. So like working for the prince and then becoming like the metaphoric king of mozzarella, right? And then my nonno said, I was supposed to go to Argentina and I failed. And now it's your turn. You go to New York and you're not just going to make it, you're going to really make it. My dad went. My father did not know how to make mozzarella. It's not like my father. People sometimes think my father did not know how to make mozzarella. He never worked in a deli. He worked in a barber shop. All my uncles were barbers. That's what he did. He used to cut a little bit of hair, clean the set. My mother at the time was working in MTA. She was working for the vice president of MTA. She was her secretary. She was doing pretty good. My father was working in De Chico's, which is a famous supermarket in New York. And then he worked for a moving company. One day my mom comes home and sees my father on the couch. Goes, Orazio, why are you home? I quit. I said, oh, okay. Well, did you get another job? No. He goes, you can't do that in this country. You can't quit and not have another job. So my godmother and my mom decided to take my father to one place to make him feel Italian. And at that time was Arthur Avenue. Arthur Avenue has evolved. I'm sure you'll ask me later, so I won't get into it. It's evolved. It was all Italian. Mm-hmm. All Italian. Everything. From the people that lived in there to every single shop. Everything. My father went there. He got a job at this deli that was called Chelly's Deli. He learned there how to make mozzarella. That store was already open now. This was the second owner, so it was already open now like 20 years as well. And my father he worked there 2 years, learned to make mozzarella. And my father decided that he wasn't getting paid enough, so he quit. He went to the Chico's. And then Nikki asked my father back. So my mother, she has this thing where she says that she's in back of the stage. It's true. Sometimes she doesn't get as much recognition as she should, my mother. You know, it takes a lot. My father had nothing to offer. But he was a good-looking guy. That's it. My father had no fucking money. Couldn't speak a fucking word of English. And she married him. My mom's friends go, are you stupid? What does he have? He's a beautiful man. We got it. Nice, long, slicked hair. The guy's Sicilian, dark and handsome. Mm-hmm. That's it. He don't speak English. He was going to the movies. Everyone was crying and laughing. My father tells me, he goes, I don't fucking know. He goes, they used to laugh. Do you imagine how stupid your mama friends are? They take me to the movies.
She's in there like,
and I'm like, do I have to laugh or fucking cry? So,
at least he's good looking.
Yeah, at least he's good. So my mom went in and she went to Nikki. She goes, you want my husband to take the store? He goes, yeah. Nikki had 2 daughters. So they didn't want the store, obviously.
Right.
My mom said, I'm going to draft up papers from the lawyer, and then next year you retire, and the store goes to my husband. So Nikki goes, okay. My father goes, no, I can't afford to pay it. And life's about luck. It really is. Everything is luck. Luck and hard work. And my father said, Nicky, I can't pay for this. How do you want me to do it? Nicky looked at he grabbed my father's hand like this and he said, I see something in you. Just like that. And you're going to take this store and make it something big. Don't worry about paying me. We'll figure out something and you'll pay me every month privately or something. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for that, my dad could have took the store.
Right.
And 33 years later, my dad took that little store. Nicky is now 94 years old. He just moved to Florida 3 years ago. He calls my father every single day. It's like his son. He's made my father very proud, and my father loves him like a father as well. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of where I've gotten that connection of like father-son, like the love of working together. And when my father took this store, he said, what do I do? And he goes, there's so many delis. So like, how do I differentiate myself? And he goes, I'm gonna specialize in mozzarella. Don't ask me how he thought of that, but that's what he thought. He woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He like this, Phil. My mother's name is Philomena, but Phil for short. Mm-hmm. Phil, I love New York and I love mozzarella. At 3 o'clock in the morning. By the way, spoiler, my parents are still married 38 years. So
God bless. I was going to ask.
So my father did not waste his time.
Okay, good.
They're married 38 years.
Yeah, she held on.
Yeah, she held on. She held on.
Thank
and
God.
she got rewarded. She got rewarded.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert before anyone everyone's probably thinking like, did she leave? No. Yeah. They're married 38 years. God bless. My father says if he would have robbed the bank, he would have got out of quicker.
Yeah, Jesus, man.
So, that's good shit.
Thanks.
So, my father decided that in a city filled with so many delis, he decided to make it specialized in mozzarella. Mm. And my father came up with he's writing down names. He just this, that, and he goes, Casa della Mozzarella. And the rest is history. 33 years later, he, from before this stuff here, the podcast and Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff, the things that were there were the Daily News, the Zagat, which was massive. It was a little red book. There was 3 of them, one for golf courses, one for malls, one for restaurants, and one for marketplaces like my father, butchers, delis. And my father got a 29 out of 30. And that's what really set everything off. Then my dad went into Oprah's magazine. Then he was on Bobby Flay's show. And then little by little, Casa della Mozzarella took off. And like I said, it happened with a little bit of luck. And it happened with luck, but it happened with hard work. And there's a lot. Your question was like, how did Casa get formed? But the reason why this answer is so long is because it's really not simple. Yeah. And when I go with this hashtag that it started out as a joke, but it's when I say it's just different, it really is. I mean, just look at the fucking story I just told you.
It's just different.
A man was engaged in Sicily, not Barcelona, not fucking Rome, not Milan, Sicily. Yeah. Which is beautiful, but it's a beautiful island in the south of Italy. He left his 2 beautiful brothers, his beautiful sister, his beautiful mother and father, his best friends to come to America with not one thing on his mind. But you know what? At the end, he really is. If you were to open up a dictionary, he is the definition of what the American success story is. And for me, that's what Casa Mozzarella is. Casa della Mozzarella is a melting pot of people that come to his country, sometimes with a dream and sometimes with just something that they're not sure, but they're looking to find it there. And I think he's made all Italians proud, for sure. I think he's made people say, wow, like if you dream high, you can touch the stars. And if you work hard, you can definitely you can achieve what you want to achieve. And Casa Mozzarella now has been open now for 31 years, and God bless for all the success and everything that he's gone through with it. It was a great thing. He even tried to open up a factory, and there's a whole bunch of things to Casa Mozzarella. But as the opening statement, just to get the circumference of Casa Mozzarella, then I will be shorter with my answers. But this was
listen. You don't gotta be sure with anything.
This was just it's just even sometimes like I still get sensitive thinking about it, emotional because I just like it's unbelievable like how this guy how he came here like at 29 years old and left everything behind. It's unbelievable.
You could tell that you reflect on that a lot, and you're very proud of your dad.
I am.
And you share his story for a reason of maybe just reminding yourself like some days I think I got it bad, but nothing compared to what my dad had to go
and
through.
I always tell people this. I said, what's the secret to the mozzarella? And like I said, this is my first podcast.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, what is the secret to the mozzarella?
The secret to the mozzarella is consistency. Consistency. And I don't really think there is anybody in the world, literally, besides me and my father, that love to make mozzarella. Nobody goes, I can't wait to make mozzarella. Nobody. Maybe like once or twice a day. No one wakes up and says, let me make mozzarella 30 times a day and have my hands burned. Like
check your fingerprints. You got them?
I do. My father doesn't.
He doesn't have them.
My father has no fingerprints.
He literally could not
print. He has no fingerprints. That's a fact. You want me to get into that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So my father became an American citizen, I want to say about between 15 and 20 years ago, give or take. He took so long because he just didn't, I don't know. He just said he lived here. He was legal, everything. He just didn't.
He needed.
He didn't want to, he just felt no need to get a U.S. passport. Right? He had gone to Italy for the first time in 8 years. He didn't go to Sicily for like 8 years at a certain point because the store was really busy. There was no one he could trust. I was still in high school. I know how to make mozzarella. He goes to Sicily, and JFK at that time changed the protocol. For anyone with a green card and without a passport, U.S. passport, you have to put your thumb, your index finger, and your hand. So he put his thumb, nothing red. Put his index finger, nothing red. His whole hand, nothing red. So they decide to take him to the back. In the back is a room of all people from crazy islands, like name me some crazy islands, John. I don't know. Some crazy Caribbean islands, just people you would like that. Just their passports didn't read. That my father's
just
in there.
Confusing.
Yeah. And someone goes, one of the police officers in there, the customs, he goes, why is the king of mozzarella in here?
No way.
I laugh. My father. So they get my dad out. Whatever. My dad goes now to Jamaica. My dad loves the Caribbean, so he goes to Jamaica a lot. My mother goes to the Bahamas, St. Lucia, St. Thomas. He loves the Caribbean. He goes, and
again,
we found out the second time. We put the fingerprints for a reading. So it means they're burnt. So my father has no fingerprints, so he can kill anybody. I told my mom, I said, "Ma, if he cheats, you can't fucking find him."
No,
you can't.
That is fucking. How much boiling water you have to touch for your fingerprints to be burnt
at
off?
that point, he was making mozzarella about 20 years, so a lot. Now we use gloves because of everything that happened with COVID. I never wore gloves, so the first 5 years of me making mozzarella, I didn't wear gloves.
Do you prefer not to?
Now I've gotten used to it, the gloves.
Yeah.
But yes, I do miss like that touch of it, like just making mozzarella natural. Like if you go to a pizzeria, like no one is making without gloves. But because if you remember when COVID happened, they didn't know if you had to wear a mask. Or remember, we had to wear gloves.
Right. Thank God we did.
Okay, and yeah, right. Thank God we did. That's a whole nother fucking story for another fucking day. Right.
I actually like that we're 6 feet away. Still, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Hope for the country. By the way, what's today's date?
Today's the 20.
Today's
21st?
October 21st, 2024.
Yeah.
Let's just
22nd.
22nd. Let's just pray in 3 weeks. Let's just pray for 3 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to
whatever size you're on.
Back
right?
to our scheduled program.
Yeah.
So that's how we started making mozzarella gloves. So I got saved. I mean, my hands aren't too bad, a little bit from working out, but they're gloves have helped. Gloves have helped. But yeah, my father's fingerprints are burnt.
That is insane. Well, back to what makes your mutz better than ever. Can I say mutz? Is that disrespectful?
No, because mozzarella, mutz, as long as you don't say mozz.
Never.
No, mutz is fine.
I still am a 4th generation Italian.
It's trendy. Yeah, it's trendy. Mutz is fine.
Okay.
Love what I do. Consistency, love what we do. There are little secrets to the tale. Not many big secrets, but little things. So back in '96, when my dad had this store for 4 years, somebody from Naples came. Naples is known to make the best mozzarella in Italy and the world. And he had a big factory, one of the biggest factories in all of Europe for making mozzarella. He ate the mozzarella and he said, wow. He said, who's the boss? So my father said, come here. I'm the boss. Nice to meet you. He goes, this is first, let me introduce myself. He goes, I'm blah, blah, blah. I own a factory in Italy. He goes, this is the best mozzarella I've ever had in my life. It's just missing one or two things. He goes, would you like to come visit me one year? Do you have family still? He goes, yeah, my whole family in Sicily. When you go, please come. So it was in Campania, which is in Naples, mountainside. And my dad the next year went to Campania and he learned some tricks of the trade. So the main thing that I've learned from him is to make good mozzarella, you need to know the curd. The curd is the equivalent of like pizza dough, right?
Right.
The curd. So as funny as it sounds, every year, every season, the curd changes. You have, because the cows,
Yeah, I never thought about that.
cows what they eat, right? The grass is hard, soft. So there are times the curd is harder or it's softer and you have to know how to put less salt, more water, not as much. And some people think when you put so much hot water that's like the key to it. Like, oh, it's so soft. It's soft at that moment. I always tell people having fresh mozzarella hot on the spot, like some people can make it and it'll be unbelievable. It's how it tastes an hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours after it sits. That's when you know if you made a good mozzarella. Different water temperatures. We don't just make mozzarella and throw it in water. We throw it in one water and then a minute later another water, and then the water.
What?
Like different. Yes, it's science. When I say mozzarella's an art, I'm not lying to you.
Wait, hold on. You use 4 different. What's in the different water?
Different temperatures.
All different.
All different.
Why?
And when don't think like we take like a thermometer. No, we just go by. Oh, all right, that seems good.
I figure. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Why did you do it?
No.
We're not that pathetic.
So give us high level how to make mozza. You have the curd, which is basically just coagulated milk, right?
Yeah, give or take.
They had like enzymes, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a square. It's like a square piece of cheese.
Yeah,
But it's not really cheese. It's curd. People are like, oh, that's not really. You're not really making mozzarella from fresh. You need to use rennet or something. Like, just shut the fuck up. I go,
that's what you say to them.
Come make fucking mozzarella. Go put your hands in the water. Make a bowl shape and close it while the mozzarella's hot. Let me know if you have fucking hands. Hands like you fucking pussy.
How about that?
Let me know that.
Shut the
right?
fuck
The
up.
fuck out of here.
I agree.
Anyway.
So you got. So basically, it's.
I apologize to the audience if that was too
don't be
far.
sorry. Whoever is disrespecting, they deserve that. You basically got the curd, you got the hot water, you got salt, and that's it. There's really nothing else that goes into it.
I mean, we have the ore, which we use to turn it. Ours, we use wood. So a lot of people use metal. We use wood. It's old school. Does it make a difference? I think so.
I'm sure it does.
You put water, salt, and you have to. It's how you stir it. It's how much hand texture you put on it, how smooth you make, how much water you put on. I mean, there's little tricks to the trade. But like to answer your question, John, like what makes us the best is because I love what I do. And I know it's just like such a cliche answer, like, oh God, Carlo, you fucking say it. Like, oh, LeBron, why are you the best? Well, even though he's not the best, Michael Jordan's the best, but whatever. LeBron's like, because it really is a cliche answer. But if you love what you do, you just, it's not work.
Yeah.
I love what I do. And yes, Instagram and things like this have made me love what I do even more. It's made it funner for me.
Yeah. I would assume you're not going to cut any corners because you don't want to cut a corner.
No.
You want to do it perfect every
so
time.
I'll give you an excellent example. To this day, maybe even last week or 2 days ago, if I make a mozzarella and it doesn't cut the right way, like let's say I'm making and I cut it and there's like a piece hanging, I could sell it, be fine. I don't sell it. I take it out and I recut it. Because to me, I don't care. I don't know who's getting that mozzarella. Right. It could be someone that comes every day. It could be someone that comes once a week. It could be their first time. And I want them to make sure that they came to Casa del Mozzarella to get what they saw through their eyes on Instagram, on their telephone, on their television, or whatever. Everybody should be treated as family. So if you have someone that comes in that's already family, great. If it's someone that's their first time, you want them to be your family, your customer.
Right.
And that's why I take pride in that.
Yeah.
I don't cut corners. Everything has to be good. And I never met him. I hope to meet him soon. There's this place in Brooklyn. It's called Luigi's Park Slope Pizza. And he's he seems like my father, very humble guy. And he was just saying the same thing about that. He had taken 2 lines that I've either said or similarly said. One was, I don't cut corners because I represent my father. His father passed away. And I feel the same way. And he also said a beautiful line. He said, what's your biggest regret in business? And he said, ooh, good question. And I was listening. I was like, wow, that's a good question too. So now I'm waiting for this man, Luigi, to speak, who's about my father's age, I would say, give or take. So the biggest regret is that when my father retired, I didn't make him work with me. I didn't spend as much time with him. And now he's dead. And it hit me because in about 3 months, my father will retire. And the store will solely be mine.
Wow.
So that is the first time that this is
breaking news.
Breaking news. So my father will retire within the next 4 or 5 months, whatever, give or take. Mm-hmm. And he'll still be there. It'll be like nothing has happened. Just he's there. Hopefully he listens to me.
You don't have to shoo him away at this point.
Don't have to shoo him away anymore. Yeah, exactly. And I took that line. I'm sure you understand because you work with your father too. They can be pain in the asses. They can bust balls. But they are probably our biggest fans. Mm. And they're probably our biggest critics, our biggest inspirations. And I'm not I don't mean to speak on behalf of you, but I could tell you're a good man. I could see you were raised right, so I'm pretty sure that's how you feel.
Oh, yeah, everything you said is resonating.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
You know,
I don't think I am.
No.
I met your father. He's a very lovely man.
Thank you.
Good looking man as well.
Great looking,
beautiful father.
That's the only thing that pisses me off.
I know my father too.
It's like I get it, but come on.
The women love my father.
Jesus Christ.
And I hate when he fucking puts that extra gel in his hair so
he
it slicks back.
He knows what he's doing.
I mean, the guy gets out of the shower, he puts hair in his hair just to stay in the house. I go, wow, why are you doing that?
He says he never knows.
He goes, because I want to look at my house. You know that I put sea salt in my hair every day, that just to make sure I look good in my fucking house.
Right. That's amazing.
So, it was a line that resonated with me because I said to myself, wow, like, it's a pain in the ass to work with your father sometimes, but it's a blessing. Like, not many people get that honor, like that privilege. You know, people like see their father like once every 2 weeks, right? They work in corporate America, and I was gifted this platform to work with my father to tell his story. I'm blessed that my father has this amazing American success story. And it was always been able to be told, but now I've been able to tell it on a platform. And I always tell people this, and it actually will be the defining answer. So if you want to mix and match and cut shit out of this interview and say, what is the secret? This is the secret. It's one thing to have a great product, but it's even better when the product has a beautiful story behind it.
I completely agree.
And my father, our mozzarella is phenomenal, but the story behind it is unbelievable. Yeah. Father and son, a man comes from Italy, builds an American dream, came here with nothing, scratched and called, passed it down to his son, his father and son. They're like best friends. They love each other. We've been on so many things together, from Bobby Flay to Action Bronson to we won a James Beard Award. Jesus, I mean, this is an award for those who don't know what a James Beard Award is, because I didn't know what it was either. I had to Google it. It is the Grammys for chefs. I'm talking about like Danielle, major chefs, big chefs. When I mean chef, I'm not talking about like the chef like that works. I'm talking about chefs like that make $400K a year or own like 5 different restaurants around the world.
Yeah.
And how the hell Carlo and Orazio Caciotto won a James Beard Award for best short film documentary. It was basically a video taken by Complex Networks, believe it or not. So I don't know if you know that show on for the Wing Challenge.
I don't know. Wing?
When they eat the wing, the hot one. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Hot
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
So that's what they're known for. Hot ones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Give him a fucking raise. Good.
Dan, good job, bro. Dan, that was good. Holy shit, Dan's on one. Dan, you're getting a raise, dude.
Yeah, that was.
Joe, shut the fuck up over there.
So Complex has a thing, First We Feast.
Yeah.
And they mainly do hot ones.
Yeah.
But once in a while they do a different episode of something. And whatever reason, I get a phone call. Imagine Complex is very like, it's like a hip hop urban vibe. And I'm like, what does Cosmo stuff to do with Complex Networks, right? And they called and First We Feast. And I'm like, well, we don't have wings here. Goes, no, we want to do a special. Okay. His name is Jackson. So the director comes in and he films a show with us. And he decides that he wants it to be on us making mozzarella. And like the way I heard you talking to your staff over here before, your boys, about like the B-rolls, the B-drops. And it was something like we did like that. Mm-hmm. Me making mozzarella and like them hear my voice in the background, like of telling my father's story. And it was really, really nice. And, it got a lot of attention.
I've seen it.
And it was very emotional. Even thinking about it, I remember I could hear the words, the questions. I could remember the production. I remember us being called to, when it came out, millions of views. I was like, wow, millions and millions. I was like, and we had gotten hundreds and thousands of views on things, but this was like 15 million views like in 5 days.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ. And a couple of months later, I get a phone call and it's from Jackson. He goes, we've won one of the best films for the New York Film Festival. It was in Times Square in a big movie theaters. I go, wow. So I made mozzarella in the beginning for the cocktail hour. Like everyone that was part of the show, they made food, and then we all got dressed up and we all were in the movie theaters. Yeah. It was the first time I ever saw any of my works on a movie screen. I mean, it's surreal to see your documentary on the movie screen. Like it was unbelievable. And as it's about to start, someone goes to me, Jackson is not here. Who's the director? I go, oh, okay. I'll call him after. He goes, no, you don't understand. You have to say something.
Oh no.
I go, I want you to understand there's about 300 people there. And I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not shy, but still, I'm like, fuck, this is off the cusp.
yeah.
I go, Jesus Christ.
How old are you at this point?
27.
Okay.
So I'm 34 now, it's 27.
Yeah.
I mean, and this happened 2 times in my life. This time, and 5 years ago, one of my good friends, he was getting married, and his brother was the best man, but his brother was having a child, and he did not want to attend his brother's wedding because of COVID. Long story. And he decided not to go. So he came to the wedding, but he didn't go to the ceremony after.
Yeah.
And teachers their own. Listen, I wasn't in that position to have a child like a 7-month-old. So I don't know what I would have done.
No.
I don't know what I would have done. But that was his choice. And his mother goes to me, and she passed away too. May she rest in peace. She said to me, Carlo. I go, what's up? I called her name. I said, Ma, because I used to call her, she's like a second mom to me. She goes, "What's up?" She goes, "Yeah, we're about to go into church." She goes, "After church, when you get in the limo, write a speech. You have to say a speech for my son tonight at the party." I said, "Motherfucker, this is like, what is this like the new fucking thing?" So I'm accustomed to these things.
Yeah.
So that's just a backdrop of the story.
Yeah.
But so I'm watching the film now. Hence, rewind to 5 years ago, and I get up on stage, and it's over. He goes, "And now, give it up for Caciotto, Mozzarella, Carlo Carciotto." Woo! Ah. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking of, so I needed something, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I get up, bro, let me tell you, to stand up on a movie stage and look up into a crowd like a Broadway theater was fucking wild.
It's awesome.
It's awesome, but I don't have a speech prepared. Of course,
I get it. Yeah.
So I'm looking. I'm like, so I know there's tourists around because it was a big film festival. Right. So it wasn't just all New Yorkers. I go, New York.
Yeah, perfect.
That's it. New York. And then I gave a good speech and whatever. Actually, I gave such a good speech and people cried.
Oh, really? Look at you. You're an actor.
And it worked out great. And that was a big deal. And then after that, we got a phone call after that. And Jackson goes, "Thank you for doing my speech." I said, "Anytime, Jackson. Try not to make it happen again." And he goes, "We just got nominated for a James Beard Award." I go, "Oh, wow. That's fucking amazing." He goes, "This is a big deal, Carlo. It's us and like 4 other people. I sent you a link of their videos." Okay. I have the phone. "What is a James Beard Award?"
Yeah, it's sick.
And literally it came up and I seen the people that won it before. Gordon Ramsay. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. There's a big deal. New York, Pier 94. Tyra Banks is the host. Oh my God. I'm like, oh, wow. Tyra Banks is going to give me an award if I win. And so I was able to watch the 3 videos that were short documentary, and they were very, very beautifully done on an architectural wise, like from like film work, B-roll, like they were saying like that. And so was ours. But I knew that we were gonna win. And I not for any cockiness or anything, because when I tell stories, and sometimes they might go long and people will say, especially my fiance, she'll be like, "Oh, I fucking tell stories," but at least they have a meaning to it and they wrap around something.
Yeah.
It goes back to that a good product with a beautiful story is the key. And what made us win that James Beard Award is because every video that was presented there was just a video of showing something and all this stuff. But whatever the judges had seen is they had seen something real. They had seen a video of a father and a son that loved each other, built something, passed it down, and they had seen something because we had no business winning on any other merit besides that. And then Tyra Banks is there, and she goes, "And the winner is The Art of Mozzarella by Caciotto Mozzarella." And I got up there and I gave Tyra a kiss. I said, "You look just as beautiful." She started laughing.
That's so funny, bro.
That was very respectful. And that was amazing. We won a James Beard Award.
Unbelievable.
And then that was just another feature in the store. It's probably my biggest accomplishment, I would say.
That's pretty big, I would say.
I'd probably say after that. And then after that, I had met Action Bronson, who I know who he was. I just saw some guy come in my store.
Really? You don't know? Oh, really?
Never knew who Action Bronson was. He was just this random guy that came in the store with a big beard and Knicks hat. I said, we're talking about the Knicks. I think it was around Lynn Sanity. Talk about Lynn and Stoudemire, Velo, and he just goes, he's probably like asking, like, why is this guy asking me for a selfie, right? He walks out of the store, he starts taking selfies with people. Like, what the fuck is this? I go to my customer, I go, who is this guy, Action Bronson? Okay. Here we go again. Who is Action Bronson, right? My poor Google search, right?
It's like, you a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Action Bronson is a famous Albanian rapper that has became a famous also celebrity chef that has fuck that's delicious. I go, what the fuck is fuck that's delicious?
I love fuck that's delicious.
Okay, I understand. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Right? So that's like 3. I'm like, oh wow. I text my friends. My friends will call me, you're a dumbass. What the fuck is wrong with you? What do you think I do, John?
You have to go run outside and get him. He's gone already?
He's gone already.
I'll give you one more guess.
One more guess. We'll give you one more guess.
Okay, you reach out to him online.
I DM him.
Yeah, have to.
But I look like he's got a fucking million followers. I go, fuck. Action, my brother. Listen, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. Like, it was such an honor to see you. Glad we got to chop it up about the Knicks. He responded. No worries, bro. Appreciate it. It's probably my, like, you just didn't know who the fuck I was. How you not recognize me? I have a fucking big ass beard. How the fuck don't you recognize me? He didn't say that. I'm just saying in his mind. He must be saying, and that's it. 3 months later, I get a phone call from his producer. Because I never knew Action Bronson was a customer in my store. Whether he came in or whether he sent someone in. And I get a phone call from Vice Networks. And they said we want to do a holiday special with Lydia Bastiano. And it was a possibility of Fabulous. They had like a rapper, famous chef, and us. And we were on the show, and again, like just to go to the aura of my father, like you got this guy, Action Bronson was a massive celebrity. We get to the studio. It's if you watch the video of that episode, you can even see it. It's all on display. He bows to my father and touches the back of my father's hair and says it's an honor. So my father didn't know who Action Bronson was. He goes, like joking. He's like, in his mind, he's like, of course it's a fucking honor. Yeah. But he was joking, and I'm like, God, you're fucking nobody. I go, we're somebody. This is fucking Action. And we just became good friends. And I think that's something I've learned in the world of business, and I think I learned it from my father to interact with people and interact with customers, and just don't be afraid to talk. I mean, some people are just timid and shy, and could go both ways. You could talk a lot, and it could sound like, oh, well, just shut the fuck up. Like I'm sure some people are going to say, just shut the fuck up, John. Who the fuck's this kid? And then some people might actually be a lot of people be true. You could never win.
No.
You know what I learned in life, John? You can't please everybody, so please yourself.
That's a really good quote.
And you know what I always say too? Make yourself proud and make your parents proud. You do those two things and you're golden.
Yeah.
And then when you have that chance, make your wife proud and your kids proud. But for now, you start with make yourself proud and make your parents proud. And that's what I did. I mean, I did everything I could do as an only child. I am an only child. And I never envisioned myself taking the store. It was always in the back of my mind, but I never envisioned like, oh, I want to take Caciotto Mozzarella. I don't know. And then social media came out. And when I was in college for my bachelor's degree for business marketing and management, I just said, it was 2008. If anyone remembers that was the recession. Won't speak about what president that was under, but that was the recession. So me and my friends, we graduated in I think 2012. So it was, but we're just like, oh shit, we're all juniors. We really can't go back. We're just kind of gonna go forward into the business world. And that's what happened. We all got offered jobs. John, what do you think someone out of college, 4-year degree, bachelor's in business marketing and management, working in Manhattan, what would be a fair salary starting off? What do you think? Fair.
Back in
And now what you
2012
think?
Yeah. Back in 2012, I have to say, starting out, you got to be making more than $60K a year.
Say again?
$60K a year.
Okay. I went on about 8 interviews. 8. About 5 of them were called pyramid schemes, which basically means there is no office. You go into an office and there is a beautiful secretary's desk, a lounge area for you to wait, and there's like 3 offices. And you say to yourself, well, there's 1 office there, 2, 3, where me, and where's my office? There is no office. I have a school bag. I go around the city and offer products. It's called a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
They pitch to you that, oh, here is this, here is that. You're gonna get, this is when you're speaking to the manager, you're gonna get to here in 3 years. They show you, it's a pyramid. They show you the pyramid of how you get there. And listen, I'm sure it's gotta maybe you get there because it has to kind of work.
Right.
The highest salary I ever got offered was $28,000. I want that to be repeated. 4 years of college, 28,000. My friends who I went to high school with were burnouts and smoked weed every day, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just in case
We don't judge.
there. Because not that I don't really smoke actually that much really, but I'm talking about like literally smoke like 20 blunts a fucking day.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Working in sanitation and making $120,000 a year. Now, also I want that to be on the record. That sanitation, if I did not have the store, I would have probably went to sanitation because I just think it's an incredible job. I just think it's if I did not have the store, my dream job, I did take the police exam in Westchester County when I moved there. I did want to be a undercover cop, like narcotics, like bust down doors. I've always had a thing for that. I've always loved the Secret Service. Hindsight's funny about the story we told before.
Yeah.
That whole full circle, right?
Right, exactly.
But like I always wanted to be a street clothes cop, like one that does warrants. That was always something I wanted to do.
That'd be fun around your area.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It would be funner back in the day. Now it'd be a little bit too dangerous because for the men, by the way, thank you to the men in blue.
That's right.
Much respect.
We thank the men in blue.
They don't get enough money and they don't get enough credit, man.
Especially in New York City.
Especially in New York City. Especially let them do their jobs.
Yeah.
November 5th. Anyway, moving forward. And that's just whoever you want to vote for, of course.
Of course.
I'm not saying anything wrong.
For.
I'm not saying anything wrong, John. I'm just saying November 5th.
Yeah.
Vote.
As an American, you should be
vote for who you want to vote.
I agree.
That's your special message to the viewers. I don't know where the cameras is. This one?
Look at that. Look, we have 5 of them. So.
Oh wow, that's shit. Oh, at least I got my nice little side part.
Got your good side. Yeah,
that. My nose must be phenomenal.
And you said the same thing.
Yeah, definitely vote November 5th.
Yeah.
And so that sanitation would have been my job. I would have definitely loved to do sanitation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what at the end, like going back to the salary of like, it's like, wow. So that's when I decided to go back to the store and I told my father I'm gonna work here. And then whatever. Once I earned his respect, he would teach me how to make mozzarella. Because if I make mozzarella, you can't take the store.
Well, of course.
Right?
You hadn't known how to make mozzarella at this point?
No. Okay. I didn't know how to make mozzarella until about 10 years ago.
Wow.
So I made mozzarella right after this statement from my father. Baba, I want to really take the store. Carl, it's a hard life. I go, I understand. Now, my father and my mother, they always, I get it. You want the best for your kid or kids, especially as their only child. You want to have your son wear a suit and tie. I get it. We all have the aura of it. Now, it's funny though, because 20 years later, you would never expect that you don't even have to wear a suit and tie into corporate America. You don't even work in your office anymore. Yeah. But it was such a prestigious thing. Wear a suit and tie, right? All this stuff, whatever. It's like, and I did. I like I told you, I worked for GQ. I was into fashion. I wanted to work for ESPN. I wanted to be a journalist. I minored in journalism. Somebody told me, and it was the best advice he ever gave me, I was supposed to go to Quinnipiac, And they have a beautiful studio. They're beautiful. It was incredible. And they said to me, don't waste your time. I said, what? Because they will hire Derek Jeter, Shaquille O'Neal, Alex Rodriguez before you. 10 years later, I go to everybody, watch the World Series on Friday. Poppy, who knows nothing. Derek Jeter's phenomenal. He deserves his spot there. Not because I'm a Yankee fan. He knows the game. Go watch NBA TNT. They're great. I love Shaq. They're funny. Yeah. Chuck. But again, go watch every sports thing from NBA on TNT, sure. NFL, Tom Brady, right?
Yep.
And gotta listen to that person because yes, there are people. Maybe I would have been one of those people that broke out. Maybe I have the personality, the charisma. I don't know. Yeah. But yes, as much as I'm good on the cusp, and I'm very vocal and I have a good character. But at the end of the day, do you want to listen to Carlo Carciotto or do you want to listen to Carmelo Anthony? You're gonna want to listen to Carmelo Anthony, right?
Shoot the three, no
Shoot the three, right? Three in the dome, right? Yeah. We'll get to Knicks later. Don't worry. That's actually tonight. Big fucking.
Oh, you're
Knicks
excited.
Oh, I'm super excited. And so that's how after that I just said, okay, I can't do that. So I said, bye-bye, I want to take the store. And he said, okay, you got to do one thing for me. Okay. I was thinking to myself, what more can I do? I went to college. I'm thinking, because he's not saying it. He's laughing. Not laughing, but like he knows what he's going to say is fucking crazy. Yeah. It hit me. I said, no way, he's not going to fuck it. I didn't want to say it just in case it was an idea. Shit. You got to make your mother proud. I go, okay. You have to go back and get your master's degree. So this is what I had. I had something, I had a vodka cranberry.
You remember?
Yeah, because at that time I was going to Posh all the time. That was a big thing back in the day. Okay. House music was very big. Avicii, Tiesto. I did this, and I said, "Wow, I have to go get my master's degree to make mozzarella." He said, "Shit." And again, how this story wraps around is make yourself proud, make your parents proud, you'll be golden. So I never went back to get my master's. It was an option. It was a thought because at the end of the day, I knew I wasn't taking the store for like another 12 years. My dad was 55. I knew he wasn't going to retire until like 65, even later than that. But thank God I got him out at 65. Yeah. So I went back. I went to the store and I said, okay, I guess my school, Concordia, they decided to do a master's program. So I went to school for business management. I got my master's in it. The only thing that was attractive about it is at the time, at least, I said, okay, if you have your bachelor's in business and your master's in business, you're eligible to teach business classes in colleges.
That's cool. Yeah.
I don't think universities. It depends. But I could teach any college.
Okay, so you get your master's now. Do you think that helped? I mean, I guess you wouldn't know. Do you think it helped with running the business? Or just you check the box off because your dad said to?
I think I could tell you this. A master's degree and a bachelor's degree is two different worlds. Mm-hmm. Not because one's harder. One is obviously harder. A bachelor's degree, you have stuff done by textbooks. Your master's degree, you are literally, there's no textbooks. You're literally hearing stories from your teachers. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. International marketing, my professor told us how his marriage almost ended because of him doing offshore accounts and having to go abroad, right, but having to also deal with women, kind of not flirt, but like, so I learned a lot of life lessons in my master's program. So I don't know exactly, did I need it? I don't think so, but I don't think it hurt me.
Right, of course not.
So that's it. I could have done without it, but I will tell you this, it was a 1-year fast track program. So that means I had four every semester. Every semester was 2 months. It was classes 2 days a week, but for 4 hours. So I had class on Friday night from 6 to 10 and class on Saturday morning from 10 to 2. So instead of having an hour class every day, it was jammed into one.
Yeah.
And then next week it was hybrid.
Okay.
2 months each. So like 2 months, you had two classes, all the way through August. And I could tell you when I graduated, for whatever reason, I won summa cum laude. I was always a 3.0 student. Never forget my professor, my dean. Another thing with adversity, I wasn't supposed to get into my master's program.
Really?
My dean of students told my professor, Carlo, Professor Rothman, his name was Professor Rothman. He said, listen, he's a good kid, Carlo, but he had a 3.0 and we were looking for 3.5 or above. His name was Philip Rothman. He was my guidance counselor. They did all my classes for me, like my scheduling. And he was my professor for like 3 or 4 classes. He goes, I'm vouching for him. Let him go. If he doesn't go, if something goes wrong, it's on me. I feel like all my life that's been my story. I've always have to prove people wrong. I had a best friend, 2 brothers. They're very good friends of mine. We don't really talk as much anymore. We grew up for 30 years. They used to both tell me that I'm only gonna be famous because I took my father's store. And I always remember that. And maybe you've been told that too sometime. I'm sure you have. And it always resonated with me. I can hear both those kids, and I've known them I'm 34, I know them for about 25 years. And I could still hear them telling me, one went to work in corporate America, one went in the medical field, and they both would say to me, you're just going to be famous because of your father's store. That's it. And they both have their own paths. I don't know, however success they have. I don't really care. I don't think it's as much success as mine. And I said humbly, because I worked hard for those voices to shut up, that I was going to prevail and prove people wrong. Mm-hmm. I remember they used to laugh at me. When I said I was going to get my master's, they said, you fucking can't do it. Bro, you know how hard a master's program is? Listen, a regular paper in a master's program is 18 pages minimum, okay? It's not like that's the minimum paper. So I went into, I've always been thrown a lot of shit in my fucking life, a lot. And even sometimes from my own mother, like, you're gonna fucking slice prosciutto. But that was my mother's way of saying like, she wanted better for me. She never knew this was gonna happen. None of us knew this was gonna happen. I didn't know I was gonna be fucking on all these podcasts. I was gonna have a line out the door. People were gonna be camping outside from Mozzarella at 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know these things were gonna happen. I had no idea. I didn't know I was gonna be on the New York Times 57 best sandwiches in New York, the top 3 best Italian sandwiches in New York, and on the Eater, on Bobby Flay's show, on Action. I didn't know this was gonna happen. I did not know that I'd go to Madison Square Garden and watch a Knicks playoff game and have people come up to me at the bar in the middle of the garden and ask me for a picture. Who the fuck am I? But you know what? I said, I don't know who the fuck I am. I am the fucking guy that people said, I am going to be nobody. And I said, I'm going to be somebody. I'm going to be bigger than you ever thought I could ever fucking be. And that's what my father was told. My nonno told my father, you're a piece of shit. You're a Sicilian trash. I can't believe my daughter chose you. You know what he did? He told my father, why do you want to marry my daughter? And my father said, I love her. You know what my nonna did? He opened the refrigerator. He took out eggs. In Italian, eggs means uovo, which means, if you think about love and love sounds similar, right? Mm. He said, you love her? Let me show you love. Takes out 2 eggs, breaks them on the floor. Look how easy love can break. That's what he said to my father. Me and my father have gone through same paths and different roads of our own journeys. And that's how I feel like at the end we've become best friends, not just because of that he's my father, I'm his son. We followed similar paths. His came from coming on a plane across the country, leaving friends, and me coming from, I'm Orazio's son. How do I differentiate from not being Orazio's son and being Carlo Carciotto? How do I do that? How do I not be the guy that's going to take daddy's store? And how do I become the guy that's going to take Casa della Mozzarella and make it the next chapter? How do I prove people that I grew up with my whole life that are telling me this? How do I still look at them in the face? Do I still be friends with them? Are these friends? Are they motivating me? Are these the people that are going to make me be bigger than I'm supposed to be? And that's why I've used all that fuel. I've used all of it. I got my master's degree. I said, you know what? I'm not only going to get my master's degree, I'm going to fucking be summa cum laude. I didn't even know what the fuck that meant. There came to the day that the dean that told me I wasn't eligible to be in that class, in that graduating class. He came to me as I'm online waiting to go out with my graduating class. He put a rope around me. It was gold and blue. I didn't know what it was. I said, what is this? He goes, you're summa cum laude, which meant anyone who had a 3.5 GPA and above. I had 3.9. I just missed valedictorian by 0.1. Someone got a 4.0. I got a 3.9. That fucking bitch. And it was actually my favorite teacher who gave me an A minus. I got an A across every board except my first class, an A minus. My professor still tells me, I wish I would have known I would have gave you an A.
Yeah.
I said, Dean Sava, what is this? He goes, you're summa cum laude. He took out his hand. He said, thank you. I said, thank you. He goes, no. Thank you for proving me wrong.
It's powerful.
It's very powerful. I walked out, the presentation, the ceremony, and it got to the point, summa kuma, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, like summa cum laude, right? Like, please stand. And it was like 4 of us. And it was like me. Remember, I'm just a 3.0 average student. Literally did 3.000 on the dot, which I guess is good, right? I mean, nothing crazy. And I remember being told, congratulations, now turn around and thank the people who've supported you. And I turned around like this, and it was my mother and father, and they were hysterical crying, hysterical. If I knew what my funeral would look like, knock on wood, that's the best way I could say. I'll never forget, next to me there was this kid, his name was Abdul. When I turned, I sat down just like this, and I said, it was worth it. It was worth it. And he looked at me, he goes, Carl, you okay? I go, yeah. And I was saying it was worth it because I said to myself a year ago, when I got that first syllabus, I went home screaming. I said, I'm not fucking doing this, Ma. I'm not fucking doing this. And I fucking did it.
Yeah.
And I won summa cum laude. And I watched my mother and father be happy for me. After that, I tried again one more time to look for jobs, as I promised them. I'd give one more shot. It just wasn't for me.
That's it.
And I took the store, and I took all those words, words of people in the street, words of brothers, like I guess I'm an only child, people that I called my brothers, those words of, you're going to take daddy's store? Okay. I am going to take daddy's store. You know why? Because it's a story that's too beautiful not to be written anymore. It can't just end. It can't just end. And then I thought of, I'm going to make an Instagram page. When Instagram had just become popular, when they did the business section of it. Remember, Instagram was just, and then they had a business page part of it. Now you could use whichever part you want, but and I made it, and I just started making videos, and then little by little, all these things came along, and I just maybe a little bit of luck, definitely a lot of adversity. I would say for sure. I always compare it to LeBron James, and I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan, but I respect him. He's a hard worker. He's been in the league for 22 years, and he busts his ass. Gotta give credit when credit's due. I don't think he's better than Michael Jordan. Hindsight.
Yeah.
But you gotta respect him. And I always compare it like this. When people ask me, how does it feel to be Orazio's son or Casa della Mozzarella? And I say it's like being LeBron James' son or Derek Jeter's son. You're in there. It is true. If it wasn't for my father, I acknowledge that. And that's okay to acknowledge that. If it wasn't for my father, there would be no foundation. To start a business off scratch is very hard. Let me repeat that. To start a business, any business, is very hard. When you have a foundation to build on and a name, like Johnny Drinks, Casa della Mozzarella, and these things like that, it helps. We can never deny that. We have to be grateful for that.
Yep.
But what people don't understand is your father and my father started with nothing. All they can do is go up. Me and you, all we can do is either go a little up or just fucking drop. And no one ever understands that. So like LeBron James' son, that he's probably actually a decent player. I'm not saying he's definitely not phenomenal. And this has nothing to do with him. I'm just saying the pressure of a LeBron James son, of any athlete, a Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, they have an opening. But just imagine the scope that this kid tonight will be playing his first NBA game. And the only questions he's going to be getting is not how he played, but how was it to play with your father?
Exactly.
And that. And the fuck, and then that is, it's a blessing and a curse.
But I think the blessing for you, especially, and number one, like, or by the way, the whole story behind Casa della Mozzarella, if you didn't know it, you could walk in there and just say, yeah, this is really good cheese, right?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, the product is phenomenal. But when you learn this sort of stuff, like you said, the experience of eating the cheese, but then also understanding where it all came from, that's what makes it so much better. And it's not that you're trying to be better than your dad. I think there's always going to be that like competitive edge to you that you're both kind of like this. And you're like, well, I have to be better than him in these different ways. But you're just being different than your dad. And you're taking this structure that he built and you're making it better, not necessarily by doing what he did. It's doing what he did, but then also doing something different with the whole social media. If you looked at the brand as it is today, and especially when your dad retires in a couple months, there's going to be a generation of people that when they think of the king of mutts, it's you. It's not going to be your dad anymore. And that pressure is sort of relieved because now the lore is just in the foreshadow, or it's in the shadow, and you can live up to whatever you want it to be now. Right? You're keeping that tradition going, not because you have to, because you're proud. You could easily say, hey, yeah, this is all me now, guys. I'm the king. Yeah, my dad's story was whatever, but you're choosing to allow that to live on because of how proud you are. And I can see it in your eyes and how emotional you get when you speak. You love your dad as a person, you love your dad as a father, and you also love your dad as a business partner. And I think all those three combined is truly special, and not everybody gets to have that.
I agree. Yeah, I really can't add much onto that. I mean, that's pretty. I'm very lucky to work with my father every day.
Yeah,
that's really all I could say.
Well, the father-son dynamic, and I think that's where everybody thinks, man, this guy's just lucky, and he's going to sit there and his dad's going to hand him everything.
Yeah, I'm still paying my master's degree.
Right, and you wouldn't necessarily want that. Like, what does that do for you just to get handed?
Well, yeah. Well, if you look at maybe 10 years ago, like, oh shit, just give it. But like, yes, as you grow older, you
because your dad knows what he had to go through
yes.
to get to where he is right now.
Yes.
He didn't get something handed to him. That's why he learned through hard work, adversity, struggle, whatever it may be, to now get to where he is. You have to go through the same things. Yeah, he has a bit of a safety net for you because he built the brand a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if you want to reach heights that you've never seen before, you are going to have to take risk, and you have to hear the nonsense of people saying you can't do it. Absolutely. It's all the same shit he dealt with, just differently.
Different format, yeah.
You know, how was it working with your dad for, say, the first 6 months?
Hard. He's a perfectionist. like from every little thing. Mozzarella, like, did you cut it right? Oh, it's like you could just see the frustration. Like, it's just not for you. Not for you. Kind of like almost like the master's degree's there, the degrees are there. Like, I want him out of here. Not because he didn't want to work. He just wanted better for me. He didn't want me to be in the deli.
He didn't want you there.
He wanted, and he still, I think, sometimes feels that way.
He doesn't know though.
No. I think he just. I think now now that he knows and he has a lot of friends in corporate America, like his own friends of his age, he sees that it's not like the glitz and the glam that it used to be, right? 9 to 5, off on Saturday. And then I got friends that work even on Saturday and on Sunday, like whether it's in their house. Like, you know what I knew I loved what I did, John? I have a bunch of friends that when it's Sunday, they get this thing called Sunday Scaries, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Neither do I.
So when people like, I'm talking about like, it's like 3 o'clock afternoon and I'm like, my friend's demeanors change. Yeah. I'm like, it's a fucking beautiful day out too, by the way. It's not, it's like there's like a hurricane or it's all fucking blue skies. Check my you want to look at my emails, Carlo? Like, it's crazy. I'm like, no, yeah. Do you want me to show you my contracts and my bills and how much money the prosciutto cost? $15,000. You want me to show you that shit too? Because I could do it too.
Yeah.
There's this thing like the Sunday Scaries, and again, I don't work in corporate America, so I don't know how it is. I'm sure it's different when you have to work for a boss, and the thing for me that it differentiates corporate America is like a business too. The thing is, corporate America, you are very dispensable.
Yeah,
you can be thrown out. I see it happen to my uncle, who was the top of the top, and because he was getting paid too good during the recession, they threw him right out, and he was unemployed. So, I realized, like, my father always wanted that, the suit. My mother specifically, the suit and tie. And I get it. You watch your husband, come home, burned fingerprints, and I get it. But it didn't work out like that, and I'm glad because I feel like I have a good personality, and I'm very charismatic, and if there's I'm very good like with interacting with people, and I feel that Casa della Mozzarella gives me a platform because of how successful it is, and because of people like you and all these food bloggers, and they make me tell my story and the actions and the Bobby Flays and the regular people. I was telling you before we set up, before we mic'd up and we came in here, I was telling you, I was like, I don't care if this was on Johnny Drinks or if this was on your podcast. Obviously, Johnny Drinks has how many followers?
Who's counting?
But it's different number of ratio to yours, right?
Yeah,
because you're just starting this.
Yep.
I could have easily told you, John, fuck, I got to come on here for it. So I just wait to come on Johnny Drinks because we know
you'll get on eventually.
We're going to do it.
Oh,
your father loves me. We're going to do it. But you know why I can't? Because I like you.
I appreciate it.
And because I feel like we have a similar story.
Yeah.
And anyway, this is going to pick up a lot of views anyway, but this shit's going to blow the fuck up. If people haven't tuned out after 2 minutes and we talking, but I'm sure with the editing team of these,
they have a good, they're good at what they do, these guys. Yeah, he does great hair. He belongs in front of camera.
No, I don't want to take you home. I mean, well, again, back to November 5th.
Yeah.
Depending the way we vote and shit, we don't know how you could take anything home, I guess.
At this point, right? Who knows? You can be
but like I always say, I as long as I have the time and I try to make the time, I try to be on anything I can be on because everyone deserves a chance. So that means if it's someone that's got 200 followers, 1,000 followers, something that's going to get me 3,000 views, something that's going to get me 500,000 views. One person's view can make a fucking massive
I was going to say, you don't know who
is viewing it.
Exactly. That, right? Like that.
Exactly.
Again, I keep harping on it. Like, you learned so much from your dad. I'm very curious about the early days of him saying, "Hey, you're just not cut out for this," or maybe he was bluffing just to kind of see how tough or how bad you really wanted it.
He was definitely bluffing. again, you have to remember, this was before the gloves and all that stuff. This was a man that had burnt fucking fingerprints.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants their son to burn their hands, right? And again, you know, he had friends that worked in Morgan Stanley, and he saw, like, you know, he's seen my PowerPoints. Like, I used to record them, getting up in front of class and stuff. And he used to just see, like, wow, you're special. I mean, like, the way I was just saying to you, like, you know, when I film with Action, like, his team, they go to me, they're like, yo, you could have your own show. And that is what I tend to do one day. That's the little things have motivated me, even to my father's aspect of, like, you can't do it. But my father did it in a different way, in a loving way, not like the way of, like, we would describe it with my friends and stuff. Like, their stuff was really malicious. It wasn't to motivate me. And maybe, yes, we were younger. We were in our 20s. You're more naive. You say things you don't mean. They did apologize, but it doesn't matter. You're still not, like,
said it.
If you're still saying it's what you feel.
Still thinking.
It's what you feel.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You said it before. Your dad is your he loves you more than anybody, but he also will critique you more than anybody because of how much he loves you.
I wasn't even going to cut you off because I was just waiting for you to finish the statement. Yeah.
You know, that speaks volumes.
So the only thing my father has failed, and I remember he built a factory. It was called Etna. There's a volcano in Sicily. It's called Etna.
Yeah.
It's the biggest, it's the most active volcano, I think, in Europe. No, it is the most active. It's one of the biggest, next to the one that's in Napoli, Volcano, I forgot the name of it. So my father, after, like, in 2000, when he had really taken off with the deli, he wanted to make this factory. It was like his dream. He wanted to make his mozzarella nationwide. He wanted his story to be not just in New York, but all over the country. And he built a factory, and he got Costco. Just on Costco, we were set.
Wow.
He got the whole East Coast of Costco.
Holy shit.
They were coming with trucks. We got Stop and Shop, Balducci's, Zabar's, ShopRite. Costco then said, because these are their competitors. Now the big deal is Belgioso. That's the big person that sells. At that time, not that we were competing with them because we were new on the block. Belgioso has a massive factory all over the country, 2 or 3 of them. My father decided to, when he got the Costco, he said, all right, what else can we do here? He goes, oh, we're just getting started. The manager of Costco said, the cheese department, the dairy section. Once you get past this 2 weeks, you're going to have every Costco in the country. Shit.
Wow.
I was only 12. I couldn't run the store or the factory. We went on our first family vacation. Me, my mom, my dad, and one of my good friends at the time. Went to Turks and Caicos. In Turks and Caicos, we got a phone call from my dad's partner. From Costco, the president of the Northeast division. All right, so we picked up the mozzarella, and it was bad. So what my dad's partner did was they left the fridge open, and, like, instead of being normal and fucking throwing it out, they decided to give it to Costco. Costco, when they pick up their stuff, they have a truck that has automated sensors and everything, and they saw it was bad.
No way.
They loved my father so much, they said, we'll give you a second chance, don't worry. You know what my dad's partner did? He put it in the fridge and gave it back to them. Costco was smart. They put a little X on the bottom of every box. We lost Costco. Factory closed. My father I'd just taken the store. Wasn't like we were on top of the world. My father literally asked for no help. He still tells us is that how many sleepless nights he had to pay. He had to sell the machine for $300,000. He was lucky he sold it. He had to pay a lot of stuff back, and he did it by himself. A lot of nights he said, you'll never, and the thing I respect for my father is he never made us feel it. I could tell you now, I never knew my father was struggling. I had everything I needed in life. Every new, when they had Razor scooters, every Razor scooter, every Nextel that came out. That's how fucking old I am. Every Nextel that came out with the new back screen, never felt a thing. But my father learned even his things, and that's how I've always been critical on partnerships and stuff like moving forward. People, because I'm sure that'll be the question you'll ask is, what's the future hold, right?
Yeah.
So the easy answer is the future holds is that Casa della Mozzarella is just, there's nothing more that needs to be done. I have a beautiful life. My parents have a beautiful house in Westchester County. They have 2 beautiful cars. I have a beautiful car. But just talk about materialistic stuff.
Sure.
We are able to we can go to a beautiful restaurant every week without even flinching. And I say these things humbly. I'm not saying this in a way coming off like, oh, who the fuck am I? I'm saying it is that the point is that we worked hard to get to those points in our life. And why do I have to kill myself and open up another one when just this one that I have gives me everything in life? But then Carlo Carciotto's got to fucking do something. So on that note, definitely, I've been blessed to make mozzarella. I make mozzarella for New York Yankees. We make mozzarella for the Legend Suite behind home plate for everyone behind Let's Go Yankees. Game 1 World Series Friday. It'll be the first time that we're making mozzarella for the Yankees in our 10-year contract that they're in the World Series.
When are you going?
Deal. Huh?
Are you going to the game?
No, I wish I had that much pull. I don't have that much pull. And I think it's $26,000 for a bottle plate. It's not bad. It's a couple mozzarellas. We're throwing a burrata in there. So we were blessed to get that. And what's next is I would definitely say I want to open something. I want to open up a sandwich shop. Just a sandwich shop. Similar to what we just made outside the Casa. It'll be a mozzarella bar. There'll be like dishes with just mozzarella and sun-dried peppers and prosciutto, a glass of wine. So it's kind of like when you're in college or when you're in high school and they ask you, what's your dream school, your safety school, your reach school? So my reach is just, my safety is just Casa. And I'll be fine with that. And maybe that is ultimately what I just do. I just keep Casa and leave it the way it is. Live a nice life. The second thing would definitely be is to open up a sandwich shop. I think it's very realistic. Where it is, I don't know. It could be in Florida. Hint, hint. Could be in Westchester County.
Okay.
Could be in Greenwich.
You want to come over here on this side of the Hudson, the better side?
No comment.
You don't want to come over here?
No. I would only move to New Jersey because it is a fact that I think it came out a couple of days ago that New Jersey is about 30% cheaper to buy a house than New York. So, for instance, I live in Westchester County, it's a beautiful area and it's very expensive as well. So a house that would be like just giving you a number, $1 million there, over here would be like 8.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yes, and I've looked up houses like in Totowa and different parts of Jersey, and it's factually true.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd ever open up a new job. I'd maybe live here. I think someplace close to the bridge because Arthur Avenue's right over the bridge. But opening up a store, I think I would do something more in Westchester. Florida is possible.
Man.
And the dream would definitely be to reopen that factory.
I was just about to say that.
And do it again. Because make yourself proud, make your parents proud. I think I was able to do what my father couldn't do, and I was able to tell his story. So at the end of the day, the world goes around. See, my father said he wanted his mozzarella to blow up and explode like Etna. And he got that because with a little bit of help of me and himself as well. people come to that store from all over the country, all over the world, from whether they watched it on YouTube or on Complex or on Vice Network. People come in and they have my father's story has been told. I'm glad I was able to tell it. But the factory, I would only do it if I know it can be done. It's not an easy process. It's very hard. It's a big, big operation. Big. And, there's a lot more competitors now of people that make mozzarellas like the Belgiosos and all these things. But it's something in my mind that I think about that I would definitely love to do.
Yeah, listen, I don't know you that well, but it seems like you will need something, right? Like you have this competitive edge to you. You do have something special to you. You feel it, right? The aura that you just carry.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be satisfied, I don't think, if you just kept the course of what your dad has created, and also you have created, right? You've been in this now for 10 plus years. It's not like it's just been your dad.
That.
Right.
I'm making mozzarella taste, but I've been in there. My first job was there at 15 doing the register.
Right. So you've been in this space and you've helped this thing grow, but I don't think you're done yet. You know what I mean? I think the one shop you guys have in the Bronx is phenomenal, but I foresee this, like you said, in the Costco's of the world, franchised out, bring it over to the side of the Hudson for once. But yeah, I don't think that you'd be satisfied with just staying there.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'll definitely do something.
Yeah.
I just think, like my father says, I think the best thing he's taught me is he always told me his father would tell him, don't walk. So if he's a left, don't walk with your right foot in front of your left, or hindsight, your left foot in front of your left, because that's how you trip. Because you gotta do things, and you have to do things with time, patience. Like again, looking back of all like the comments that were said to me, like from friends and stuff like that, taking daddy's store. I could have jumped but I took my time and I found openings and things that I never thought I was gonna find. I didn't know I was gonna. I didn't know Instagram was gonna be this massive thing. I didn't know there was gonna be a podcast. I know there was gonna be a Johnny Drinks interviewing me. Right? I didn't know
you made it.
I didn't know all these things, but I definitely. It would probably be stupid for me to think that all I would just do is have Casa. But we will see it. I don't like to. One thing I also pride myself is that I hate empty promises.
Right.
I hate that. I don't, and sometimes my father was fault to that too, and not his fault, but he would promise, we're gonna go to Splish Splash, we're gonna go to Mountain Creek on Sunday, and then he couldn't because he couldn't get someone to run the store.
Right.
And I learned from my father. My father is an amazing father, better than him I can't ask for. But there were things faults that he made that they weren't his fault, but he made them, and I tend to not make those faults. And I try not to keep promises I can't keep. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to make another Casa. It's an aspiration and it's a goal, and I think it's definitely attainable. And with my drive and desire, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But to sit here and just say I promise, I don't want to say that. But I just take all I learn. I take all I have, all the knowledge I've learned, whether it's in the streets of the Bronx, Westchester County, in the classrooms of Concordia College,
and
and all the way to getting a summa cum laude. I've just always tried to prove people wrong.
Yeah,
and do it with a smile on your face.
And
there's no need to brag about it, But it's okay to give yourself recognition. It's okay to tell people and voice it out sometimes. You don't have to keep everything locked in. It's good to be humble, because that's why my father is very, very, very humble. So I've sometimes too humble. And I say, bro, just fucking say what you are. Right. But I get it. He came here with fucking nothing. Yeah. Like when he got a BMW, like for him it was like a big fucking deal. Yeah. And it still is a big deal.
Right.
And it's awesome. And, but he don't even give a shit about those things. Like he don't care. He likes family. He loves to eat. He loves to enjoy his life, and he loves soccer. And
it's beautiful, man.
He loves his family. And listen, we really are It's just me, my mother, and my father.
Yeah.
I mean, my family's in Sicily, so there's not really many. It's, of course, they're our family. My uncle, my zia, but I don't just get to walk out of here right now and go in my little fucking pocketbook here and take out my fucking phone and say, hey, cuz, you want to get a drink? No, because right now my cousin's in Rome and the other one's in Sicily.
You know, sitting right there.
Yeah, and my future cousin sitting over there with I don't know why he's got a Yankee hat on. He's from fucking New Jersey. I have no idea.
Oh, here he goes. Well, that segues perfectly into some of the fun questions we have.
Go ahead.
All right. For those that aren't from the area, Arthur Ave, the Bronx, paint the picture for us.
Now or before? Both?
Both.
Okay. Before, very Italian. Old school Italian. All older Italian people. Very mafia heavy. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very mafia heavy. But good not like people but like
the good mafia.
Yeah, but mafia heavy. I've watched the FBI come and raid a whole place with like 30 cars. I was 12. I never.
Wait a minute. I gotta ask now. Has Casa del Mozzarella ever served? No, they don't. They kick him out.
Serve what?
Any mafia members?
Oh wait, what's that? I have to speak to my future cousin. What's up?
Yeah. There you go. You don't turn the customers away, of course.
According to my future cousin,
your lawyer over there, he says plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
All right. Fair
Listen,
enough.
you like you said, you can't turn people down.
Turning people down.
But
He's a customer.
Yeah.
Right.
It's It's a complex question, but first I could say it's not like anything's wrong with it because they've done their time or they're still innocent.
Everybody likes cheese.
So yes, but we have a wide variety of people from Mel Gibson to Robert De Niro, who's come to my store a couple of times, which I'm used to be proud of.
I was just about to say the same thing. You almost kicked him out the door.
Not any fucking more. That motherfucker lost his mind. I mean, you talk about fucking analyze that.
Such a shame, bro. Yeah,
such a real big fucking shame. Chaz Palminteri's a cool guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's a fucking great. Is
gem.
He? He's a gem. So funny story. He's in the back of my store, and he wants to have a mozzarella. He came with a camera. I guess he was promoting his show on Broadway, Bronx Town Broadway.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's a one-man show, him. Mm-hmm. And he was promoting it. He was going around the places. Now, even though Casa Mozzarella wasn't in the Bronx Tale, but it was one of the stores that was in the area. Mm-hmm. So, and now that's, respectfully, we are one of the top 3 stores that make Arthur Avenue, or people come to Arthur Avenue for, with the biggest lines on Christmas. So Chaz wanted to get some publicity for it. And he goes, I want to have it. Carlo, give me a bocconcini. Okay. Chaz, it's hot. Chew it. Motherfucker almost choked.
You almost killed him.
I said, Chaz, after his son was next to me. His name is Dante. Very nice boy. Very nice kid. I said, Chaz, you almost died twice on Arthur Avenue.
That's great.
That was fucking good, right?
That's fucking good.
It's just fucking different,
That's
right?
hilarious.
Imagine killing Chaz.
Yeah, you'd be like, great. What a story you got now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let me see what else.
So the Bronx, paint the picture for us back in the day.
Bronx, the picture is definitely very Italian community, super Italian. It was the only thing that was non-Italian was McDonald's, and it was Italian because it was a McDonald's, and the M was the Italian flag, and it had an Italian, like a bird, like an eagle, in Italian colors. It was this very small McDonald's that was the most American thing there.
That's amazing.
And it was still Italian.
That's amazing.
There was not anything else. Now, Arthur Avenue is diversified. It's in a good way. And people always ask me, people ask me, how do you feel about that? How do you feel that Arthur Avenue is changed? I said, it was the best that ever happened. And I'll tell you this, why. Because the old school Italians, they're cheap. And also, they're not going to go buy a casa or a sandwich like that. It's a different, I love them all, and they still shop in our store. I love it. But what Arthur Avenue became is, I want to say the Mecca. I want to say the Mecca. I want, like, because we speak in the Knicks, it's become the Mecca of Little Italy's. I haven't seen all the Little Italy's. There's one in Montreal. I know there's one in Boston. I want to say it's been a blessing because everyone now comes. So it's unbelievable when you see on a Tuesday, Wednesday, you see charter buses of people coming on a tour from Asia. Like you go to, or Europe or whatever, like you go to these hotels, people send it to me at, like, you know, you go to a hotel, let's say the Marriott, whatever, right? And there's brochures. Tour the Empire State Building, tour the Freedom Tower, Statue of Liberty, and there's one, a tour of Arthur Avenue. Can you fucking imagine? Right? I didn't think about it. I don't think about it because I'm there, but I'm like, yo, it's dope. These people coming from like fucking Ohio or Texas, and they come and they're like, yo, let's go to Calabria pork store. Let's go to Bologna, get that white chocolate bread, the olive bread. Let's go to Cosingham's. Let's go to Borgars, get fresh ravioli. It's a whole day. Let's go to the coffee shop, have a coffee. You feel like you're in Italy. Yes. Has the neighborhood changed? Yes. It is, unfortunately, it is an aspect of the South Bronx. You can't deny that.
Right.
It is well policed. There's not been really many problems. I have to say it.
Good.
No one's ever, nothing catastrophic has happened.
Right.
But it has changed for the better. Arthur Avenue has become Arthur Avenue was just a place that was known in the Bronx and known in New York. Now Arthur Avenue is globally known. Right. So in hindsight, it was a good thing. Now you have two pictures. You have a picture of a place that was all Italian. Then I have a place that is multicultural but brings all people together for the love of Italian food and Italian culture. That's cool. A fucking good line. We have that saved, right?
We got that. We timestamped that one. That's a good one. Let's go into the intro. That was good.
Fucking amazing.
You're full of them.
I'm fucking good at this shit.
You're good. Well, here we go. Ready? Who has better pizza? Ooh. New York or New Jersey?
Oh, it's New York. That's not even. That's a fucking stupid question. I was just waiting for you to say that stupid question. Like finish, like it's like.
You know, I have to ask it.
Okay,
I've had mixed opinions sitting in this chair.
I know. I watched one of your interviews. It was someone that said like I like the New York culture. I don't know what he said. No disrespect, that person, lovely gentleman, but.
Okay, then give me the best New York pizza.
See, and that's how I'm going to make you. Like Drake says, show you it's real.
Yeah.
See, you're going to go with, you want me to name shit like Patsy's.
No, I don't want you. I want your answer.
That's what the person will say.
I know.
The Patsy's.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Lucali. And Lucali's fucking, first of all, I worked with Lucali. I did a show with him, Bellato, Anthony Bellato. Lucali is probably, I've heard, and I is probably one of the top 3 best pizzerias in New York, if not the country. So I can't speak on it 'cause I never had it. But I mean, best pizza. Well, it's what kind of pizza are we talking about, John? Because there's the New York slice, there's the Napolitan slice.
Yeah, I agree.
Name me a slice.
I love a Neapolitan slice.
Okay, perfect. So do I. So John, very good.
Good.
My favorite pizza is Neapolitan.
Yeah, me too.
Hands down. See, a lot of people, even in Italy as well, are not crazy about it because it's a very different texture. It's very fluffy.
I love that though.
But some people don't.
Right.
So for me, it's not even. It's the easiest question for me to answer. What's the best Napolitan pizza in New York? And actually, you're very lucky because he just opened in Jersey a year ago. Song and Napoli. I think it's in Rutherford. Song, Song, space E, space Napoli, Napule. Song and Napoli. He's literally from Naples. Write that shit down.
Write that down. We gotta get there.
Write that fucking down.
Yeah, we have to go there. Right?
So
Song in Napoli.
I can't speak for the one over here. I know he runs them all good. He has 2 on, and I always say this as a New Yorker, I get butchered, but I don't care. I know it's not called Houston Street. It's called Houston Street. But I don't give a shit. I say Houston.
Whatever.
It's H-O-U-S.
Yeah.
Not saying Houston.
Right.
It's fucking Houston. You don't like it? Go fuck yourself. I'm from the Bronx. I'll say it. It's my fucking city. It's on Houston Street. Best. It didn't even take me a second to think. Songonopoly, best Neapolitan slice. 100%. Best regular slice, New York slice. I'd have to say Lucali's.
Okay.
Probably. Even though I never had it, I just know. I'm just gonna have to go.
Never been. We gotta go. We'll do a little.
Okay.
We'll do a little pizza tour for the.
So
gang.
I never been, but from what I've had, New York slice, Johnny's Pizzeria in Mount Vernon, and if you don't believe me, call him for what he is. I used to always think he was a joke. I don't know. Actually, that's not fair. Not that he's a joke. That Dave Portnoy didn't know what the fuck he was talking about pizza, but when you have that much pizza, you gotta fucking gain some fucking knowledge. You're not fucking
You
brain
have
dead. After like you do it for like a year, more than you've been doing more than a year, you have to understand what's good pizza, what's not, right? And I think he does. And I can tell you, I know how he does because I know the pizzerias, a lot of pizzerias he went to, and the ratings he's given are fucking on the money.
Yeah.
So he gave it a 9.3. It's in Westchester. It's in Mount Vernon. It's called Johnny's Pizzeria. By far the best slice. Johnny's Pizzeria. After that, Louie and Ernie's.
Louie and Ernie's, I've heard. I've never been.
Okay, it's in the Bronx as well. But not they gave it, but Dave Portnoy gave Johnny's Pizzeria a 9.3. It's in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
Best New York slice. Best Neapolitan, Songonopoly.
Songonopoly. Write that down. What?
Do you sell Monster any pizzerias?
Oh, do you sell mozzarella to the pizzerias?
We did only one we sell to is on Arthur Avenue. I think you went when you were with your father. Remember you went to Zerotanove and you had did you wind up, you went to Enzo? No, you went to Enzo's,
We went to Enzo's.
And you weren't, I remember you weren't like, you said it was good.
I wasn't blown away by
Yes,
it. You know what I mean?
listen,
Like I wasn't.
and listen, they're my friends. I'm not embarrassed, but it's a very good place.
People love it though. Maybe I just got a bad meal. I don't know.
Zerotanove. Oh, I thought it was a camera there. Fuck. So, sorry, you can add that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Roberto's and Zerotanove is the best. Zerotanove, they make they use our pizza, our mozzarella.
Your mozzarella.
And
okay.
almost all the restaurants on Arthur Avenue use our mozzarella.
I guess why wouldn't they? You know, at this point.
I mean,
Jesus.
yeah. So everybody does, yeah.
Okay. Best bakery in the Bronx.
Madonna. What, for bread?
Yeah.
Madonna.
Okay. Best cannoli in the Bronx.
Madonna.
Again.
Probably the best cannoli, and I could say that because I'm Sicilian, and that's our specialty. Rice balls, eggplant, anything eggplant, pasta eggplant melanzana, everything, and rice balls and cannolis.
Yeah.
Outside of Sicily, that's probably the best cannoli, and that and Gino's on Arthur Avenue, but probably.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Madonna, best cannoli.
Right. We got some spots to hit, boys. We got some things to do. We wrap every podcast asking the guests 2 questions.
Okay.
In your entire life, what has been the lowest of your low, and then followed up with what's been the highest of your high?
Those are fucking good questions, and you asked them both at the same.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that question? People overthink it. There's 2 things that came right to your mind. So say those 2 things.
Lowest of the low was my nonna when she passed away last year. She was 95. Cooked, cleaned, everything. No glasses, no cane, nothing. I see her only once a year for 2 weeks. Wow. She's like my mother. She's like a second mother. They say that you have a special bond with your grandparents, something different to your parents. Me, I really do. My nonna was like a mother to me, and I only saw her once a year. I was fortunate enough to see her every year for 17 years straight, from 17 to whatever, 33. I was fortunate enough to go to Sicily every year and see my nonna. Unfortunately, I missed 2 years because of COVID, which sucked, but that's the way it was. The lowest was definitely my nonna passing away. I remember I didn't go to her wake. That was something that was bitter with me, with my father and me. He just went, he called me and told me she had passed. And he just went. I guess he felt he didn't really think it through. Like I could have went for 3 days and he could have came back in 7. He just went, and I didn't really get much closure with that until last year when I went to her tombstone. It wasn't the same. Italy, it's a little different. It's a little different in Italy. The wakes they're not in funeral homes. Most of Europe is not. Especially like when someone passes away, if they pass away in the house, the funeral's in the house, meaning your grandmother is on the couch. Yeah, it's surreal. So maybe it was best I didn't see it. Yeah, and that's not just me. That's all over, at least in the south of Italy and a lot of Europe. So if you die in the hospital, the wake is in the hospital. If you die at home, it's in home. Which is surreal to think, but it's usually a 1-day thing because they don't embalm the body. They just, they do something, they put something inside to make it last like the whole day without. I don't want to get too much because I don't want to say things that I'm not correct on, but that was the low of the low for me, I would say. The low of the low for me is my grandmother passing away at 95. I just proposed 2 weeks ago. And I had a dream of maybe her coming to the wedding, and that dream is gone. So my low is my nonna passing away and losing friends that I grew up with all my life that I call brothers as an only child. Losing friends that you thought you'd never lose. As you grow through age, and you just, especially like I said, as I go on this journey to propose, as I proposed and as I get ready to get married within a year or so, it's going to be weird to look down my groomsmen and see a face or two that aren't there. And I'm not the only, I know I'm not the only one that's ever experienced that. I think you grow up in life and you are so used to something that sometimes you remain a bond. You keep that bond because it's comfortable, but maybe it's just not best for you. But sometimes it's just hard to always let go. It's kind of like a relationship with a woman, or or with a man, whichever way. And I would say those are the two hardest things in lives. But I'm also at peace with both. My nonna, I'm at peace with because she's in a better place. My friends, I'm really at I'm really at peace because if they're not there, then they're not there for a reason, and I deserve better. So those are my lows, and that's as real as I can get, as an answer I can give to you. It has nothing to do with business. Yeah, it's just life. So I don't know if that was your question, if you meant in life or in business.
That was my question.
The highest moment of my life was I dated someone for 11 years. I thought I was going to get engaged, and we broke up, and it was basically like divorce without papers. And COVID happened, and it was like my life. How am I going to meet somebody? And even though he's not in that seat right now, I met somebody who at the time was 22 and I was 28, and it was a 6-year gap, 7 years. I was like, wow, she's getting her master's degree at Sacred Heart, and I'm trying to run a store. This is going to be good for me. And we went on a date, and there was nothing open. So all we could do was go on a beach, and we just sat and talked about life. And I explained to her, like, I just want you to know that this is me wanting something serious. I'm not saying I want to get married to you tomorrow. I said, but whatever I'm looking for, I'm not looking for anything to play around with. If that's what you're looking for, I understand. It's just not what I'm looking for. And when COVID happened, her Sacred Heart had closed. And I had gotten my first apartment. And she wound up moving in with me because Sacred Heart had closed. And my friend's like, what are you, fucking crazy? And I said, yeah, I think I fucking am. But I said, you know what? I said, if it's going to work, I said, I don't got time to waste. I said, I never lived with a girl before. I mean, actually, I really only had one 11 years, right? Like I just told you. I said, if it's something's got to work, it'll work. If it don't work, it'll work. I mean, you can't test something more than, first of all, two people that are 6 years apart in age, and now they're living with each other from two different states. Right. Not that New York and New Jersey is completely different, but it's a little different. Yeah. You know, you guys have like more, you guys are like, for example, I remember one thing, she was always like, oh wow, the backyard's small. You guys are used to these big backyards and fucking deers and all that fucking shit. And I'm, you know, ours is more residential. You go to the park, you shoot hoops and shit, right? Sure, yeah. And she moved in and she never moved out. Wow. And I was lucky enough to propose to her 3 weeks ago. And that's my high. My high is I got to find my best friend even when I thought that love was impossible to find anymore after being heartbroken. And beautiful. That is my high. My high is finding my best friend. I'm lucky that I get to spend my life with. And I'm also lucky enough at the same time I get to live my dream. Take a place that I always called home and now make it my business and continue to write the pages of Casa della Mozzarella and make sure that I always go into this 20 years from now knowing that I'm not just representing a deli. It's not just a place on Arthur Avenue. It's a place that was founded by a man that came here with nothing. That is my father, my best friend, and someone that that I have promised I would always say, like my nonno said, you are a Carciotto with 2 T's. And I strive to keep that as a high, that forever I will keep my love alive for my family and for everything that Casa della Mozzarella represents. Love it. And that's what I feel is my high and awesome. My lows. And with highs and lows, everything always comes together in one. But at the end of the day, I always say, make yourself proud, make your parents proud, and make your wife proud and your kids. You do those 3 things and you're golden.
Absolutely. Carlo, cheers, man. Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Johnny,
as always, like, subscribe, share. Check out Casa della Mozzarella, the best mozzarella that I've ever had / in the world, in the Bronx on Arthur Ave. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Cheers.